howdy, y'all, and welcome to the Movie Attic. I'm Mike, also known as the man with no brain. And of course, this is the Attic where I discuss and review movies, DVDs, Blu-rays, and 4Ks for all the nice folks out there in YouTube land. Obviously, I don't want to do the review like this the whole time, so pardon me while I change. Oh, that's better. So anyway, today's big movie is Quantum Cowboys, which I guess I got the slipcover here somewhere. Oh, there it is. Yeah, it came with this limited slipcover. I guess I didn't show the back. There's the back. Also came with this pretty good size booklet. Not the biggest booklets I've ever seen, but not too bad. It's a Blu-ray disc, which there is kind of different artwork. Usually in a case like this, when there's three different, slipcover and two different covers for the case, I pick whichever one I like the best, of course. A lot of the stuff, though, has the same artwork as the case, so it's easier to choose, but regardless of that, and I have my little piece of paper. And this is the last of those, if you remember, and I'm sure none of you have seen the other videos. So, like I said, there was 4 or 5 movies I was going to review when I first started the channel. And 6 months later, I finally reviewed my first movie. So in the meantime, there was these 4 or 5 movies in between that never got reviewed. This is the last one of those movies, and I know what you're thinking. Thank goodness. So anyway, the vital stats are, it's released from Factory 25. I had actually gotten it off of Vinegar Syndrome's website because it's a partner label, I guess. And it's still available with the limited slipcover, even at least a year later. It's from 2022 in English. It's color, 99 minutes. Aspect ratio of 1:7:8. It's not rated, but it's got a pile of language in it. Well, obviously, English. But I mean, bad words. It's region A, B, and C, so it should play everywhere and anywhere. It's Blu-ray. It's got English subtitles. And the big claim to fame of this movie is it has 12 different styles of live action and animation. So it switches constantly, not like crazy constantly, but in between different things, it switches the style, the animation style, or and it's got rotoscoping, if you know what that is. It's got like cardboard cutout type stuff, live action with different background scenery, made in different ways. So right away, that might put a lot of people off, because I could see where this switching from one thing to another could be jarring for some people and maybe take you out of the movie. But I like weird stuff, obviously. Oh, I don't think I showed the back of the slipcover. obviously I like this kind of stuff, and this is one of the more strange westerns I've ever seen. Uh, I think the last unique western that I saw was Rango, which I love that movie. Uh, this movie stars, and I don't want to try and pronounce this guy's first name. I'll just call him Mr. Gordon. I'll put his first name up on the, magically up on the screen. John Way, which I don't know who that is. And Lily Gladstone, I do know who that is. And David Arquette, know who he is. It stars a bunch of other people. I've only got so long a piece of paper, so that's all the ones I'm going to name. You can probably see who's all in it. I think it has them listed right there, actually. If I can get the glare off of it. Basically, this story is about Frank and Bruno, these two buddies who are shoveling crap for $2 a day. And there's a show going on with this singer. I think his name's Blackie. He's performing, and there's fireworks. So one of the two guys, Frank, decides while everybody's at this little, I wouldn't say hoedown, but this little concert, he's going to rob the, I don't know if it's a hardware store, general store, some store. And that's where things take a turn for the worst. And basically, you follow Frank and Bruno, and then Lily Gladstone's character, she comes into the picture, and you follow all three of them as they go through a series of different encounters, and all this, as the name might suggest, Quantum Cowboys. It has quantum physics, and if you know what Schrodinger's cat is. But basically, it's where every decision you make splits reality into two separate realities. There's an overseer of all this. I don't know what his name was, but he's a guy like in a control room. He's got a little pet cat, I assume, kind of representing Schrodinger's cat. So he's overseeing all this, and the big message of the movie is that everything's changeable unless it's recorded or written down or paintings or pictures. So these three characters are in kind of a, I don't want to say a never-ending loop, but it's almost like towards the end really, is more like a Groundhog Day thing where they keep going through the same scene. They change a little bit, but ultimately the end doesn't necessarily change until they do make a certain decision, and then that changes things apparently for the better. Now, if you if you understood all that, well, congratulations. You're probably primed up and ready for this movie. I like the acting. I'd never seen Lily Gladstone in anything before, but I thought she had a good screen presence. The guy that played Frank and Bruno and David Arquette's character, all the characters I thought were very cool. And to go along with this whole recording, nothing's in stone unless it's recorded. You actually, and this actually is what opens the movie, you have like a little camera crew wandering through the desert, and every once in a while they'll set up shop and start recording stuff. It's a 3-person crew, cameraman, mic operator, and all that. So whether this movie's for you is whether you can put up with the switching of the the animation and the live action and all that stuff. And it's a thinking person's movie, obviously, because you have to follow all these things that are happening and sort them out, and you don't know what's real for sure or what's not real. What was written in stone. And the guy that's overseeing the whole thing in the control room, he's kind of has the mindset that if these realities that are going parallel with each other, if they somehow meet up, they will destroy each other. So you have that kind of in there too. I believe from what it looked like on the screen, it took place in 1873, but there was, at the very beginning, it said 1973, and then it went back 100 years. And this camera crew, obviously, the camera crew had to have come from, years later. They're actually driving around in this, at one point, this pickup truck from the 70s. It looks like from the 70s. So, having said all that, I know it sounded like a bunch of gibberish. You might have to watch a trailer for this movie. Like I'd say, I like the where is it? Oh, I grew up watching like the Lord of the Rings, that rotoscoping type stuff. Grew up watching westerns as well, like Clint Eastwood, the spaghetti westerns and all that. I actually, when I bought this movie, I think, and I'm not sure because it was so long ago, I think I just added this to the order. I hate to buy just one thing from like Vinegar Syndrome or Deaf Crocodile, because it's almost like a waste of a box plus the I think it's $5 or $6 shipping. So if I find something that's maybe I'll get this. I think that's what happened, and I threw this in the cart or whatever. But I did watch the trailer for it, and like I say, I like the rotoscoping thing. Plus, this, I like the looks of this slipcover. If this had not had the slipcover and it was just this artwork, sometimes that's a deal breaker, especially on things I don't know anything about, which apparently is everything. Or ones I'm on the fence about. I'll generally pass if they don't have the limited slipcover, which, Deaf Crocodile does that, and most of the stuff on Vinegar Syndrome does that. So, having said all that, if I was to rate this weird Western, I would probably give it 7.5 rolls of pink insulation out of 10. I enjoyed it. Like I said, I watched it a couple times, and you might have to watch it a couple times because there's a lot to take in, with all these timelines and this happening and gateways to go back to the past and rewind and and figure out what exactly is happening in this picture. I thought it was cool how they did all this stuff. Some of the special effects actually reminded me of some of the stuff Carol Zeman was doing. Of course, like I said, the rotoscoping, there was some other aspects to it that reminded me of other things. So overall, I enjoyed it. I don't know if anybody else in my family would enjoy it, but there you go. Like I say, it's still available with this limited slipcover. I think actually the standard edition's closer to selling out than the special edition. So, like I say, I don't know if anybody else reviewed this movie on YouTube, but I would certainly check those out. They might have a better explanation of this movie. So, there you go. So, there you have it. I guess I can try and change back if everybody's ready. Well, I guess this attic ain't big enough for the two of us anymore. So I best skedaddle while the skedaddling's good. Uh, Much obliged for watching. Of course, I'll be up here next time with a different movie. So until then, adios.